During a cross-country road trip, I found myself traversing through Ohio. As fatigue began to weigh heavy on me, I decided to take a break in the quaint town of Zenia. The town itself seemed frozen in time, and after scanning for accommodations, I stumbled upon Zenia Country Inn. Despite its slightly dilapidated appearance, it matched the town's overall aesthetic. A night's sleep was all I needed, so I parked in the lot and headed towards the small front office nestled in the corner of one of the two motel buildings. The front office exuded a nostalgic warmth, with an elderly man engrossed in a newspaper. The room was stifling, filled with the constant hum of a tabletop fan. Politely, I inquired about a room, and the man, without a greeting, mumbled 65. Assuming it was the room rate, I handed over my credit card. Hoping for a corner room, I asked, only to be met with a blunt no. Customer service was clearly not a priority here. He handed me an old-fashioned key on a bare key ring, a relic from a time when key cards were a novelty. Making my way across the parking lot to my room, the door proved tricky to unlock. After a bit of maneuvering, I finally gained entry. Surveying the lot, I noticed only 2 other cars, giving the place an eerie ghost town atmosphere. The room itself had a peculiar odor, a blend of cotton and something less pleasant. Contemplating a change, I hesitated but decided against it, assuming all rooms would be similar. The room, adorned with a worn-out blue carpet, a couch, a small coffee table, and a bed, was compact. I shut the door, wrestling with the lock, and, after a struggle, succeeded. As I settled onto the bed, the old springs groaned in protest. Attempting to turn on the TV, I discovered the remote was non-functional, resigning myself to a night without it. Just as I began to doze off, a loud thump against the window jolted me awake. A distressed figure outside begged for help, claiming to be injured. Skeptical, I directed him to the front desk. Refusing to relent, he persisted, but I refrained from opening the door. Eventually he left, and upon investigation, he was nowhere in sight. The incident shook me, prompting a thorough check of the door's lock and a strategic curtain closure. Despite the initial fright, I managed to settle into a fitful sleep. Soon, a strange dream unfolded within the confines of a closed supermarket, with a relentless manager in pursuit. Clicking sounds permeated the dream, seamlessly blending with reality as I awoke to a chilling room. The blanket, mysteriously pulled off, lay at the foot of the bed. To my horror, a tall figure loomed over me, cautioning me not to make a sound or move. The intruder demanded my wallet, which I disclosed was in my jeans on the floor. Silently, he retrieved it and riffled through, questioning its contents. With a stern warning, he departed, leaving me terrified. Hastily attempting to secure the door, I encountered the same difficulty as before. In a state of panic, I contacted the police, who provided limited immediate assistance. Reviewing the security footage at the front desk revealed the intruder masked and obscured by a hat. Despite retrieving my money, I decided to abandon the unsettling place. Grateful my wallet contained minimal cash, I canceled my cards and opted to spend the night in my car, a lesson learned about the perils of stopping at dubious motels. In the early months of last year, my father and I embarked on a journey to a small town devastated by recent floods caused by incessant rainfall. Our mission was to provide assistance by delivering a truckload of donated clothes and essential items to help the affected families rebuild their lives. The first night, we stayed in a hotel with a breathtaking view of the ocean. The evening was spent watching The Blair Witch Project on my laptop, fueled by the hotel's complimentary Wi-Fi. Needless to say, the movie didn't exactly contribute to a restful night's sleep. The following night brought an unexpected extension to our stay, and my mom booked us a room at a motel located merely 100 meters away from a trailer park, overlooking a vast lake. Tucked away from the public eye, surrounded by trees, the area exuded an eerie yet tranquil atmosphere. My mom explained that every other place was fully booked, leaving us with no alternative. As we checked into the motel, we were greeted by two managers, an amiable elderly lady and her enigmatic husband. The old lady shared all the necessary details about our stay, including the fact that the lake hadn't been full for 2 decades. On the contrary, her husband resembled a character straight out of a serial killer movie. Silent, unwelcoming, with wrinkles etched onto his face and dark rings around his eyes, he sent shivers down our spines. From that moment, my dad and I couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling that lingered about the place. To avoid returning to the motel as much as possible, my dad and I spent the rest of the day grabbing pizza and catching a movie. Upon our return, the darkness enveloped the surroundings. As we retrieved our luggage from the truck, we discovered a bag of children's clothes hidden beneath a spare tire. Curiosity led us to the nearby trailer park, thinking a family might benefit from it. However, an unexpected encounter with the creepy old manager at the front desk, who vehemently refused to accept the donation, left us perplexed and disturbed. Choosing to drop the bag off in a charity bin back home, we eventually settled in for the night. Despite my dad snoring, I found myself awake at 2:17 a.m., engrossed in a book on my phone. Positioned to face the door, I became aware of the sounds of cars speeding up and down the driveway. Dismissing it as some late-night revelry, I soon realized my assumption was flawed when a bright blue light penetrated the cracks at the top and bottom of the door. Accompanied by hushed whispers on the other side that I couldn't decipher, fear paralyzed me. The door handle rattled, signaling impending trouble. The light disappeared, plunging the room into silence. Frozen for what felt like hours, I finally woke my dad and recounted the harrowing experience. To my surprise, he laughed, revealing that he had heard scratches in the walls beside our bed earlier in the night. As he put his finger to his lips, indicating silence, the room fell quiet until we both heard brief scratches emanating from our bed frame. In a moment of shared realization, we decided it was time to leave. Abandoning the room key on the bed, we silently slipped away to the truck. Our departure from that unsettling motel occurred at 2:32 a.m. Never again will I venture near that place, haunted by an experience that still sends shivers down my spine. Long ago, my ex-girlfriend and I found ourselves entangled in a tumultuous relationship, marked by explosive arguments and a general lack of harmony. In an attempt to salvage what was left of our connection, we embarked on a weekend trip to the mountains, thinking that the serene backdrop and invigorating hikes might breathe fresh air into our strained bond. Little did we know, the mountain air would only serve to heighten the tension. The climax unfolded in the dimly lit hotel room on the second night, reaching a point where sharing the same space became an impossibility. Opting not to endure another night under the same roof, I chose to drive down the road to a motel, seeking solace at a fraction of the cost. My rationale was simple. Perhaps a night apart would offer the cooling-off period needed for a better tomorrow. The motel room, priced at a modest $50, beckoned me with the promise of a reprieve. As I approached my assigned room, the adjacent door stood ajar, revealing a room bathed in the eerie glow of a television screen. Though unable to discern the content from my vantage point, I refrained from lingering, not wanting to appear intrusive. My own room, a standard affair for the price, boasted a queen-size bed adorned with a predictably tacky floral bedspread, a television, and a nondescript sofa. Despite not feeling particularly tired, I lay down, engrossed in a game on my phone. A peculiar noise, initially attributed to the TV, persisted even after its shutdown. The muffled sound emanated from the room next door, leaving me uncertain of its origin, whether it was a domestic dispute, the neighbor's television, or something far more sinister. Attempting to ignore the unsettling noise, I was suddenly jarred by a series of bangs against the shared wall. The pounding from the neighboring room prompted me to investigate. Closer to the wall, I could feel the force of fists hammering against it. Fueled by a mix of curiosity and unease, I resolved to confront the unseen assailant. Approaching the neighboring room, I found the door still ajar, the TV flickering silently. I knocked, inquiring if there was a problem or if assistance was needed, yet received no response. Upon entering cautiously, the room revealed no occupant. Confusion settled as I moved closer to the blank blue screen of the television. A sticky note adhered to it, ominously instructing me to check under the bed. Fear seized me as I dropped the note and fled the room, slamming the door behind me. Returning to my own room, I double-locked the door, then recounted the harrowing experience to my girlfriend over the phone. As I narrated, more bangs echoed against the motel room wall. Panic set in, and my girlfriend urged me to seek refuge at the front desk or in my car. Opting for the former, I ran to the front desk to both share my ordeal and demand a refund. The front desk attendant, seemingly unfazed, accompanied me to the room. With a key in hand, he unlocked the door, revealing a now dark and silent space. Undeterred, he checked under the bed, as per the note's directive. Even the post-it note I had dropped on the floor had vanished. Despite my pleas, the attendant refused a refund, insisting both neighboring rooms were unoccupied. Disheartened but desperate to leave, I returned to the hotel and sought solace in the embrace of my girlfriend. The mysterious events at the motel room remained unresolved, and to this day, I shudder at the thought of what lurked beneath that bed. Some mysteries are better left undiscovered,